It started at lunch. In 1950, physicist Enrico Fermi was eating with colleagues at Los Alamos when, seemingly out of nowhere, he asked, "Where is everybody?" Everyone laughed. But Fermi wasn't joking. He had just run the numbers, and they didn't add up. The Milky Way contains somewhere between 100 and 400 billion stars. A significant fraction of those stars have planets. A fraction of those planets sit in what astronomers call the habitable zone. Not too hot, not too cold. The kind of environment where liquid water and potentially life can exist. Even if only 1 in a million of those planets ever developed intelligent life, we're still talking about hundreds of thousands of civilizations in our galaxy alone. Now factor in time. The galaxy is 13.8 billion years old. Our own civilization has existed for roughly 10,000 years. If even one intelligent species had evolved just a few million years before us, a blink of an eye in cosmic terms, they would have had more than enough time to reach every corner of this galaxy. Every star, every planet. They should be everywhere. And yet, nothing. In 1961, astronomer Frank Drake tried to formalize the problem. He created an equation, now bearing his name, that calculated the number of communicating civilizations that should exist in the Milky Way right now. Plug in even conservative estimates, modest star formation rates, a fraction of planets with life, a fraction of those with intelligence, and the Drake equation returns a number that should make contact not just possible, but inevitable. SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, has been scanning the skies for over 65 years. The result is always the same: silence. So either the math is wrong, or something else is happening. Something we haven't been fully comfortable confronting. Scientists have proposed dozens of explanations. Some are comforting, most are not. The first is called the rare Earth hypothesis, the idea that the precise conditions that allowed life to emerge on Earth, a stable star at the right distance, a large moon to steady our axial tilt, a gas giant like Jupiter deflecting the worst asteroid threats, may be so specific that Earth isn't the rule. It's the exception, a cosmic accident in a universe that wasn't designed with us in mind. The second explanation goes somewhere darker. Here's the part that should give you pause. Either the great filter is behind us, meaning we somehow survived the hardest stage of evolution, or it's still ahead. And given the statistical rarity of our situation, the second option is harder to dismiss than most people want to admit. The third explanation is there's another possibility, one that science approaches carefully, not because it's impossible, but because it's difficult to test. What if the silence isn't proof that no one is out there, but proof that we don't yet understand how to listen? In 1973, astronomer John Ball proposed what's now called the zoo hypothesis. The premise is both simple and staggering. They already know we're here. Advanced civilizations have designated Earth as a protected observation zone, watching our development the same way we observe ecosystems in the wild, careful not to interfere with a species still finding its way. What makes this hypothesis uniquely difficult to dismiss is that it's the only theory that fully accounts for the silence and assumes the civilizations exist. It doesn't require life to be rare. It doesn't require civilizations to self-destruct. It just requires that they're watching and that they've decided not to knock. But there's a layer beneath even that. Some of the most respected physicists of the last century, including the late Stephen Hawking, suggested that advanced civilizations may have evolved beyond electromagnetic communication entirely. That consciousness itself has a trajectory, from radio waves to light-speed signals, to something we haven't conceptualized or measured yet. Something that doesn't leave a trace we know how to look for. We've been scanning the electromagnetic spectrum for over 60 years, but what if the most advanced minds in the universe communicate the way intuition works? Not through a medium we can detect, but through something that underlies the fabric of reality itself? The Fermi paradox assumes that advanced civilizations look like us, just further along the same road. But what if they don't? What if crossing the threshold of true intelligence means leaving the physical universe as we understand it, and entering something we don't have instruments to observe or language to describe? Here's what we know for certain. The universe has had billions of years to fill itself with voices, with signals, with the noise of civilizations rising and falling across the cosmos. And all we hear is silence. That silence has two interpretations. The first is humbling to the point of terror. We are alone. A single improbable accident in an indifferent universe. The last one standing after a great filter that claimed everyone else. The second interpretation is almost stranger. That we're not alone at all, but that the distance between us isn't measured in light years. It's measured in levels of existence we haven't reached yet. Enrico Fermi asked his question over lunch in 1950. 76 years later, we still don't have the answer. But maybe that's not the failure it appears to be. Maybe a civilization that keeps asking, "Where is everyone?" is a civilization still alive enough to care about the answer. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. Somewhere in that silence, the answer exists. We just haven't learned how to hear it yet. What do you think the silence means? Drop your theory in the comments. I genuinely want to know. If this is the kind of question that pulls you toward the edge of what we know, the intersection where science meets the deeper mysteries of existence, you're exactly who this channel is for. Hit subscribe. What comes next goes even further.